Yeah,
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Going live. See, we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm teacher Casey, and this is my friend Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie.
Hi, everyone.
How are you doing today?
Good. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. Did you have classes this morning?
I did not teach this morning. During the week right now, I only open short notice classes because it just depends on like what my morning looks like and if I have the
Yeah.
energy. This morning I didn't have the energy, so I didn't
Right?
open anything, but yeah.
Awesome. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and
Okay.
just let everyone know who you are and
All right. So I work for Outschool. I've been with Outschool since June of last year, but I really slowly got into it. I didn't really
Mhm.
dive in until January, and that's been going pretty well. Um, and I also work for VIPKid. I do book Nook on the side for now. In a couple weeks, I'm going to be taking the summer off from that, and I'm not sure if I'll go back to it in the fall. We'll see.
Mhm.
Um, what else? I've been a classroom teacher 5 years total, like a few years before I had kids and a few years after.
Great.
Um, yeah.
Awesome. So, I have your notes right here. So, if you guys see me looking down, I have her questions in front of me. We have a live chat box. If you have questions for Stephanie or for me, please put them in the chat box. And so, tell us a little bit. So, you were a teacher, brick and mortar before online teaching, or did you kind of do both?
Well, before, because I taught, so before my first career was a pharmaceutical sales representative in like my mid 20s, and I didn't like that. And then I switched to teaching because at that time I was thinking like, well, I'm going to have kids. It would be great to have the summers off and get out
Yeah.
by 3 or 4 in the afternoon or whatever. So I went into teaching. I taught middle school science.
Whew.
After a couple years, I got pregnant and had some complications and just ended up quitting and staying home for
Okay.
9 years, and then went back for 3 years. And when I went back, it was just so different. There was just so much more pressure in the classroom.
Yeah.
Um, the kids were different, although I was at a different school, but I just noticed it wasn't what it was before I had kids
Yeah.
in the early 2000s when I taught.
Hmm.
I had a lot less autonomy
Hmm.
to teach the way I wanted to teach. I don't know, it just was so different. And also, I had my own kids going back the second time. So I couldn't like shut it off and recover at the end of the day. I had to
Right.
come home and be a mom,
Yes.
and do all the things until 11 o'clock at night. And I was
Hmm.
exhausted. By Friday, I would just pass out on the couch from
Yes.
just mental and physical exhaustion. So it just wasn't easy going back. But
Yeah.
what was your question? I feel like I
I
went off
just
on.
wanted to talk about, yeah, the brick and mortar before you started VIPKid.
Oh yeah.
My kids
So then I
grew
quit
up in the
teaching.
classroom. Yeah.
Your kids grew up in the
Yeah.
classroom?
Oh, yeah. They were in there a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So then I quit. I started my own business. I have an alternative health business on the side.
Okay.
It's pretty much a side business now, but for a while it was like my main business. And I needed some extra income. So I found VIP Kid, which was great. But the hours are really hard. So I was like,
Yes.
I got to find something else that I can do during the day. This is rough. As you get
Right.
older, especially, it's hard to do off hours, you know?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes. Hey, Rebecca. Thanks for coming. Rebecca started VIPKid right after her first baby was like 4 months old, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Rebecca. And then she had another one while teaching. So she's got this perspective of like having a newborn and having a toddler all during while you're learning VIPKid and things. So
I watched your interview with her where she talked about tips for giving,
yeah,
for doing this with babies and while pregnant. I was like, wow,
yeah,
that was really enlightening stuff. Not that I need to know it, but you know,
right.
I thought
Yeah,
that was really good information.
she August 2016. Yeah, she does Outschool too during her kids' nap. So if you are a mom of young kids or about to have kids and you're wondering about this teaching stuff, I would say definitely check out Rebecca's channel. She's got you covered there. Let's see. Oh, Flavia, hello. I think I met you on Lexi's live yesterday. She said, hello, question. If you are American but live in Spain, can you teach at Outschool? No. Outschool has just those countries, and you need to be in those countries to teach. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I think I talked to you about it the other day that Outschool, you have to live actually in those countries that they accept. I guess for um, internet reasons is what we were told last time we looked into that. Um, but you can do Kid Pass. So yeah, it has like the same countries and they're very similar to Outschool. So Flavia and I were talking on someone else's channel yesterday.
Yeah,
So,
she should look into Kids Connect too. I learned about that one
oh,
yesterday on Online
Lexi's?
Teacher Dude. He had an interview. I can't remember. Was it
Oh,
Teacher
okay.
Michelle? She
Someone asked
works.
us, yeah, Lexi, on Lexi's channel, someone asked us about Kids Connect yesterday too.
Oh,
And my friend
Kids
Tamara asked
Connected.
me about it.
Kids Connected, it's called.
That's
Um,
right.
yeah, it's sort of similar to Outschool in that you can create your own curriculum, but they control the rates. So there is a cap on how much you can make,
Oh,
but
okay.
you know, it's
So
another option.
so now we have Outschool, Kid Pass, and Kids Connected that are all kind of similar marketplace type things.
Hmm.
Awesome. We'll have to check them all out. Rebecca said, yep, one is almost 5 and the other one is 19 months. Aw. Teacher Kelly, hey, thanks for coming. Teacher Kelly is the one I was telling you is a contributor. Do you call it a not course contributor? She does Go Go Kids, but she's now like a ambassador contributor. I don't know what they call them at Go Go Kids. For VIPKid, it was brand ambassador, but
Oh, okay.
yeah. So she was the one I was telling you about. Flavia, yes, she was there yesterday, and Rebecca said now my 19-month-old can play by herself for one class, 30 minutes, and then I put her down for a nap for the next class. I let her play in a fenced-off hallway. Oh, I've seen the pictures with safe toys and books. Super cute. Kathy, thanks
That's
for
great.
coming. Wow, you guys are rocking in the chat today. Love it. So if you're new here, you're just getting here, this is my friend Stephanie, VIPKid teacher. She does Book Nook and Outschool. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat. And she was a brick and mortar teacher. Science, middle school was my favorite to learn, but not my favorite to teach.
Oh, yeah.
I think we talked about that. Oh, Kelly, thanks. Brand contributor.
Okay.
I was almost there. I was close. um, so then you started teaching for VIPKid, and what made you decide to, was Outschool your second one?
Yes, Outschool is my second. It was the whole like upheaval of 2020, I think
Yeah.
is what led a lot of people to Outschool. Like my alternative health business, like the second the schools shut down, my business shut down. I
Oh,
still
wow.
to this day don't understand. And I thought, well, okay, it's just the economy, people are like at
Right.
home doing
Worried
other
about
things.
jobs.
I'm like, okay, in 3 months things will come back, and they didn't. And then I'm like, well, okay, I'll give it 3 more months.
Yeah.
And nothing was happening. And I'm like, okay, well, I have to make an income.
Yeah.
So in that time, while I was waiting for my business to come back, I applied for Outschool, but I just took a while to do it. I wasn't in the mood to start something new,
Right.
And I got accepted. And then over the summer, I saw all these videos about how people are making like $100 an hour. And I'm like, all right, let me try this. So I
Yeah.
made a few classes over the summer and it was popping like it was for everybody else. But then like the fall happened
Hmm.
and it went sort of dead. I had a few flex classes that were selling okay, but
Hmm.
I knew that I would have to start some online classes to get it going again.
Right.
And I still wasn't at the point yet where I wanted to like really dive in. I knew it was going to be a lot of work to create a middle school science ongoing class. Did I say
Right.
online class before? I meant
Right.
ongoing. I knew I would
Ongoing.
have
Yeah.
to do ongoing. So I didn't do that in the fall. And then in November, I was like, okay, this is it. I have to make an income. And I was like, I'm giving myself till January to really get money coming in, or I'm going back to work. Like, maybe not the classroom, but I'm going to have to go get a full time job. And my kids are home and I'm a single mom. I just don't want to leave my kids. So that really motivated me to make Outschool happen. I also got VIPKid going again because that was kind of dead in the fall for a lot of people. So it all started to like really snowball in January, thank God. And so I haven't had to go out and get that job. And yeah, so it's going good.
Great. So you see me looking all over the screen. I wanted to make sure I had your YouTube channel in there too, because you are a YouTuber. But you mentioned your alternative medicine. Is that what you said?
Hmm.
So, are you still running that business?
Yes and no.
Kind of.
The thing is, a lot of censorship has been happening in the last few years with like alternative medicine, and
Yeah.
especially in 2020, it's they've really ramped up the censorship. So for a lot of reasons, I've pretty much shut my website down. I'm still seeing current
Oh,
clients, like return
okay.
clients. I'll
Yeah.
take I'll take like a new client, word of mouth, but I'm not actively promoting my business.
Okay.
Partly the main reason that I did that is because PayPal especially censors people who
Oh.
are doing any kind of alternative stuff. And
Huh.
we get paid through PayPal with Outschool. And that's the only way we can
Yes.
get paid. So if PayPal starts shutting my account down, which I know they've done that to people, I'm like, well, there goes Outschool. So I've pretty
Oh.
much just put that aside and I'm focusing on Outschool and I'm happy. I
Yeah.
really, I always said I would sleep in my car before I would ever go back to brick and mortar teaching.
Right.
But now we have this opportunity to teach online and it's so much less stress. I mean, it is
Mhm.
a lot of work. It has its own, things that are different from brick and mortar. It has its own stresses, like
Right.
having to work hard for reviews. That's very stressful. But other than that, I enjoy teaching. I've always
Mhm.
enjoyed teaching. It was just being a teacher in the brick and mortar, system that was hard.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of happy to be back doing this again.
Good. Oh, Rebecca said she just subscribed to your channel. I put the
Oh,
link in there.
thanks.
The link will be in the description box too. If I didn't already do it, I started to, but I may have squirreled on that one. Um, yeah, I like Stephanie. When you listen to her channel, you are very like, at least it seems you're very organized, and the
Oh
sound
gosh.
quality. I like your mic. I need to listen. I
Oh,
need a new
thanks.
mic. My channel is just kind of everywhere, but we do lives too, so it's a little different. But her channel is very. I like your straight to the point and your, I don't know, the things you talk about. So I've watched all her videos as
Oh,
well.
I'm
So.
I'm glad you see it that way because sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't know. I'm like, what should I talk about next? I don't know. And I'm not as organized as it looks. Like if I turned this camera around and you saw the rest of my office, you'd be like, what a mess.
Oh, mine too.
I just keep this looking, I make it look like I have it all together right here.
Right.
Just keep this sort of organized, keep these papers away.
Hey, Evelyn, thanks for coming. Um, so where were we? Let's see. Oh, you mentioned ongoing classes. Do you do flex classes too?
I do. And I think I've told
Did
Kelly
you?
this. I did a Zoom with Kelly or whatever at one point. Um,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, she had like a Zoom in her group, in her Facebook group or whatever. Anyway, yeah, I was telling her that not only am I doing this ongoing class, but every Monday I record and I create a flex class of the ongoing class.
That's
It's a
awesome.
lot of work. It's a huge commitment. It's just I've really thrown myself into a lot of extra work doing it that way, doing it all at once.
Yeah.
But I found that a lot of people like the flex class option. Some kids are anxious about being in the classroom.
Right.
I mean, I've had parents tell me so many different reasons they love the class option. Also, of course, they don't have to commit to a time. Um, I can't even remember. There were things that they said to me. I was like, oh, I never thought of it that way. So I think parents are really looking for flex options.
Good.
I've had people bounce back and forth between ongoing and flex, um,
Okay.
whatever works. Because my flex mirrors my ongoing class exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah, the flex classes have been good. In the end, all the work, doing it all at once will pay off.
Yeah. I
So,
think Rebecca talked about she kind of does the same thing, but she videos them right after she does the lesson. So she already has
yeah.
everything laid out, ready to go. So then she just does it again for the camera.
Mhm.
So she wants to know, what do you teach and which age, topic?
Middle school science is basically that's all I'm teaching right now. Seventh grade, although I take any age middle school.
Yeah.
Um, but it's seventh grade. I sort of follow some of the standards, and I
Hmm.
find that the parents are happy that I do it that way. I think I have a lot of people who are planning to send their kids back right now. Not a lot, but some, and
Yeah.
they're wanting me to get them caught up before they go
Prepared.
back in the fall.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, seventh grade science. I make it very like interactive. I do Nearpod. So every few slides, they're doing like an interactive slide.
I don't even know
And
what Nearpod is.
oh, you don't? It's
No,
it's like
I've heard of it. I'm like, what is this?
Oh, you just upload your slides on there but you can
Oh,
also create interactive slides that they can draw on and they can do like matching activities. It's sort of a lot of work to get it together, but honestly, then like when I'm going to be teaching, from like 12 to 4 sections of this class today. All I have to do is open up my Nearpod. I don't have to open up 1,000 different resources.
right.
Everything's in the Nearpod slides. Even my YouTube videos that I want them to watch or whatever, everything's uploaded into this Nearpod. So moving
Hmm.
forward, it's a lot easier. It's just everything's there,
Yeah.
but getting it set up is, an extra step.
Yeah, that's the way I feel with my flex classes. They're 4 weeks long and all the work up front that you
Right.
do to get it there. But then once it's there, it's not as much. So
Yeah.
Rebecca's daughter's in my flex. Rebecca, ditto, clean for the camera. Yeah, we talked about that before on here. We just clean our little spaces.
Yeah.
Uh, awesome. All right, so we know you're a YouTuber now. How long does it take you to make a video?
Not very long. I actually had a YouTube channel for my other business, so
Okay.
I already knew like the flow and all that. So it wasn't hard starting it, and it depends. Like I did a video on Monday, and I uploaded it, and I didn't edit it, so that was super easy.
One take.
Yeah, one
Okay.
take, didn't edit it. But I do notice that when I do edit, I get more subscribers. So I'm like, okay,
Uh,
I probably need to edit at least 50% of my videos. Like the one I'll do
right.
later this week, I'll probably edit it. And that'll probably take me maybe a total of an hour and a half
Okay.
between, writing out a little like outline,
Hmm.
recording the video, uploading, editing, uploading, doing the keywords, all that stuff. Maybe an hour and
Yeah.
a half.
Do you use TubeBuddy?
I don't, but I know
Yeah.
about it. I know I
Yeah.
should be.
I never used to, but I have been lately. So
Have you?
yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you feel like it helps? In this space, I
Oh yeah.
wasn't sure. Really?
Yeah. I definitely
Okay.
think it helps. And it's easier to come up with your tags and things. And then like
Okay.
if you already have some set tags, your first tag should always be the title. So
I didn't know that.
if you have
Okay.
some set tags already, this will slip in the title for you instead of
Okay.
like erasing them and making it first. According to TubeBuddy, that
Yeah.
should be your first one. So
Okay. I didn't know that.
yeah, so I use that. And you can search for your keywords, but then you can also what am I trying to say? Like if you add this, it gets better and better and better. And you can see the SEO going up as you're typing and stuff. So it really helps
Oh,
me to figure out some words to say.
interesting.
I don't know. It's been interesting. It's kind of a challenge to see if I can get it in the green every time. um, so let's see. What you have a TPT store, right?
Yes, yes, but I only have one product uploaded, my free. They require you to do a free product. I just haven't
Okay.
had time to do it.
Yeah. What are
I'm
your
trying not
plans
to.
for that?
Well, this it sort of like hit me like a month or two ago. I realized that I can't use other people's resources, like because of copyright.
Yeah.
Because I did initially buy some TPT resources to use in my class, and then
Yeah.
I realized people were talking like you can't do that. I was like, oh, I
Right.
had no idea. So then I realized, okay, I have to create everything from scratch. Um, I can't even use a textbook. I was using a textbook called ck-12.org,
Okay.
and they put out this, I don't know, email to everybody a couple months ago while I was using it. And they said, I don't know, they changed their user policy or whatever. And
Hmm.
it basically showed me that I'm not supposed to be using it. Or they said, you could reach out to us and we'll talk to you. And I reached out to them and they said, well, we'll give you permission to use it for 6 months and then we'll reevaluate. And I thought, no, I don't want to do that and then have to change everything. So
Right.
I can't even use a textbook. So I have to sort of like type up my own notes. Anything I want
Hmm.
the kids to read, I have to type it and create it.
Yeah.
So I was doing all this and then it hit me one day. I'm like, wait a minute, I can sell all this stuff,
Right. And you
you
can make
know?
it so us online teachers can use it if you wanted to. Is that your
Yeah,
plan or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want someone to like, because I'll probably put my whole curriculum on there. I
Hmm.
don't want someone to take my whole curriculum and then teach science and have the same exact classes I do. So I
Right.
have to figure out how not to let that happen. But I don't mind if they use pieces of it.
Right.
So I might even sell some of my Nearpod
Mhm.
lessons. We'll
So you
see.
get it then where they're coming from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. I do a little bit now, but I reached out to some of them and they were like, use it as you need it. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
a lot
And
of
I
them
said,
do
it's going to
seem to
be
be okay.
online. What's that?
A lot of them do seem to be okay. It seems
Really?
50-50.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say a lot of them said no, but there were some that were like, "Yeah, go for it. We just want to teach. So if you can use my
Yeah.
resource to teach, go teach it." And I was like, "Thank
Mhm.
you." And publishers are the same way. I've had probably 90% no's, but of those, I have found 3 publishers that have been really good to work with. So that's been really
That's
cool.
great.
Yeah. So how can we find you?
I don't have many much social media right now. My YouTube channel, email stephanie.newton.esl@gmail.com.
Hmm.
I just opened an Instagram and it is, well, I converted my old Instagram. It's
Okay.
at teacher by the shore. And although I might be changing that name, I don't know. I have a hard time naming everything, like my YouTube channel. And I haven't
Right.
started a website yet because I can't decide what to call it. But that's it
I
basically
will
right now.
say, don't niche down too far with your names because taking VIP Kid off the front of mine, I think has helped so that teachers
Yeah.
know that I'm not just for VIP Kid now. But for a while there, I was like, well, do I change it? Do I keep it? So
Yeah.
that's something I learned.
I think you're right because it's the industry is expanding. I mean, 5 years from now, it might look like something we can't even imagine. And I
It's
think
like crazy.
the more if we narrow our focus too much,
Right.
it doesn't include what could be coming. So you're right
Yes.
about that.
Yeah. So if you could send me the links for those, I know I looked them up and wrote them down, but I guess I didn't put them at the bottom. Maybe somebody can tell me because I can't see the description box right now.
Okay.
If you could send them to me, I will make sure to put your Instagram in there. Your channel is in the chat box now, but I will make sure that's in the description box. So anything you want to link below so that we can find you. So you were a
Okay.
brick and mortar teacher and then online. What do you think was the hardest thing about teaching online?
Uh, for VIPKid, I don't feel like it's been very hard. I mean, in the beginning
Yeah.
it was. There's a huge learning curve in the beginning.
Yeah, if
Um,
you're a brick and mortar teacher, just jumping online is not, it's not the same. It's a little bit of
Not at
a
all.
little learning
There's
curve.
so much to learn, especially with ESL. There's that added trying to make the children understand what you're saying
Hmm.
in English, and using all the TPR. That was just so much. But I think after a couple months, it became very routine. You probably find that too. It's like I
Yeah.
can wake up, waddle into my office, turn on the camera, and just start my lesson. But with Outschool, it was, I'm still in a huge learning curve because without school, I notice a huge difference because one of my sons is doing distance learning right now with a public
Hmm.
school. And there's just such a huge difference. I watch what some of his teachers do. And I think if I did that in my classroom, like I'd have all terrible reviews. Like we really have to step up the quality.
Hmm.
And also the way the public school teachers talk to the children. And I understand I was a public teacher. You have to be stern. You have to be like, this is the way it is. But you can't
Right.
really do that in an outschool classroom. These kids, the parents are homeschooling parents. A lot of them,
Yeah.
they're not looking for that like stern, they're looking for, I don't know, more of an equality, an equal relationship, a more of a partnership. Not They're not looking for like an authoritarian to come into their kids' lives. And so I've
Right.
I've I've realized I have to. I'm really trying to figure out what tone exactly works for Outschool as far as
Right.
managing your classes. I feel like I have it down. I don't know though. I'm always learning something with that. Um,
Mhm.
so classroom management is completely different.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Very, because I'm a pretty strict kindergarten teacher, but I love to have fun. But it's hard
yeah.
to do both in that 25 minutes, right? Like 30 minutes that you
Yes, but
have.
I think for you, and also just watching you talk about your classes, I think for you it's totally different. For me, for my age kids, I mean, my kids are like 12 to 14, most of
Yeah.
them
No
here
thanks.
on
We talked
Outschool.
about that.
Well, I'm talking to like half of my screens are black. Yes, that is true. They have their cameras off.
Yeah.
Sometimes more than half. Sometimes every single screen just depends on the class and the day. But I've gotten used to that.
Yeah.
I sort of act like I'm doing a YouTube video. I'm like, okay,
Right.
just teach. And every once in a while I'll ask a question and I'll call in somebody and get them involved. And also I can see on the Nearpod slides if they're engaged and I'll call them out if they're
True.
not doing their lesson. Yeah, I can see
Uh,
who's doing their activities and who's not. And I'll discreetly either privately chat them, or if they're not responding to that, I'll say, hey, Johnny, are you there? I don't
yeah.
see your work on the Nearpod slide. So, I mean, that's the most discipline I have to do.
Good.
There's really, I think one time since January, I've had to say, okay, guys, let's tone it down in the chat box, and they didn't listen the first time. And then I said, I really don't want to have to shut off the chat box, and
Yeah.
then they were good. So there's like no discipline that needs to happen.
Good.
A lot of them are engaged and want to learn the lessons. So
Hmm.
I think I personally would rather teach my age group than yours, but that's our styles.
Well, when I think of middle school, I think of my experience as a substitute. I think I told you, like, they hid my sub plan. They threw my
Oh
sub plans in the
no.
trash. So I was taking them to the library, and I told the librarian, I'm like, they took my sub plans. Can they stay here while I go find them? I found them in the trash can. I'm like, oh, you little stinkers. But
Yeah,
that was before I was a teacher, too. I wasn't a teacher yet.
middle school is hard in the classroom. It
Yeah.
is very hard. It's what I fell into. I don't know that that's the age group. I probably would have chosen high school had I had the choice, but when I became a teacher,
Yeah.
middle school was the one that with the credentials I had at the time, the one that I could easily certify in.
Yeah.
I think I was eventually going to do high school, but then I just realized, no, this classroom isn't for me.
Yeah. So
So,
Rebecca said B&M a few years to feel like I'm not drowning. Yeah, VIPKid a few months and then not drowning. Routines and predictable. Yeah, it does
yeah.
take a little while. My first year as a B&M teacher, I was crazy and did my master's on at the same time.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot.
Because why not, right?
Did you have your own kids at the time?
Yeah, yeah. My
Oh my gosh.
kids, let's see, we were already in Germany. So they were like 8 and 10 at the time, maybe. So yeah, it was a little crazy.
That's
Rebecca
definitely a
said,
lot.
yeah, Rebecca said she loves the mute button.
Oh, in Outschool? Yeah.
Yeah, for Kid Pass, I had a hundred and something sign up for my demo, and 61
Wow.
showed up, and they like sent me messages many times, like, "Don't forget, you can mute them all. This is just a demo." So as soon as I got in there, I'm like, "Mute all." That was the first time I've ever done that before. So
Wow. Are you going to do more videos on Kid Pass? Because I'm curious to see how that's going.
I am. We just I'm telling you, their support team has been great. I asked a question and I said, this isn't working right. And they're like, oh, let us fix it for them. And then one other time I'm like, did anybody get my email? They're like, oh, we already fixed it. We just forgot to tell you.
Oh,
But they've been really friendly and really helpful. So yeah, I'll definitely be talking more about that. There are
good.
some differences. I like the Kid Pass live stage, even though they're free. But I have 100, 200 people on my on an email list that I sent thank yous to now. So
Oh, wow.
those are really interesting, and you can get
Mhm.
tips. Except I kind of wish they asked if they wanted to donate after they sign up or after the class, but they don't. They only ask when they're signing up. So it's like, how do
Oh.
they know if I'm going to be good or not,
Oh, so then after they can't go back and donate?
No, not
Oh,
yet. Not yet. I mean, they're not a new company, but I think they're new more to on all the online stuff. I have to do some
yeah.
more research. So, but
Yeah, I heard that they transitioned in 2020. They just went
mm,
right online when they couldn't do it live anymore.
right. Yeah. Because a lot of parents still had credits. They do like a monthly thing where they have
Oh,
credits and they can go and spend them.
okay.
So, yeah, super interesting. Rebecca said, can we have a mute button in real life? I used to pretend my TV remote had a mute button. I would tell my kids, mute. Super fun. Okay, so my last question that I've usually ask everybody are what are some resources that have helped you, either online or brick and mortar?
Resources like curriculum or
Anything that has helped you on your journey?
gosh, I mean, I don't know about in brick and mortar, but for for online, I mean, YouTube has been everything for learning how
Yeah,
to do these things, like learning how to do VIP Kid. I
yeah,
watched tons, probably hundreds of hours of YouTube videos to prepare for the interview, to
Yes.
prepare to teach, to troubleshoot. Like, what do I do when a kid does this or whatever? Like, I feel
Yeah.
so prepared from all the teachers that have done YouTube videos. And same with Outschool. I watched a ton of Outschool videos. And
Mhm.
also, I feel like, people don't like, I mean, some people don't like it when people tell about their income, but that's always inspired me. Like last year, I
Yeah.
wasn't really doing much without school, but there were people showing their stats, and I'm like, okay, this is totally worth my time,
It's doable. Yeah.
And then when I sort of like didn't have the energy to do ongoing classes in the fall, people kept reporting, and I'm like, okay, I have to do
Right.
this. You know
Now,
what I mean?
you mentioned your hourly rate on Outschool. I don't know if you want to mention it here, if you have a video on it, but you're working hard in there.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to maintain that, but yeah, March was my highest pay and also my highest hourly pay. It was like $218, but an hour. But I think it's because of the flex classes. I
Okay.
think because if I were to take those out, I think my hourly rate would be more maybe average what most people are making.
Right.
Um, but because they don't include any hours from the flex classes. So like
Ah.
your total hours,
Oh,
they don't
interesting.
include any hours from the flex classes. So I am putting hours toward my flex classes, but that's not included in my pay. So
Okay.
yeah. Now
Yeah.
this month, I actually just checked my stats this morning in case this came up, and it's lower because I took a couple of tutoring clients, so that brought it down. And also, like a lot of other people are experiencing, April was slower than March.
Yeah.
I've had a few less students,
Uh,
and that brought my overall pay down a little.
Kelly just wrote April was her highest. Awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
Kelly said
Congrats.
that too. Kelly commented in one of my videos, and I was like, "Well, why isn't it my highest? What's going on here?" So I don't know.
It's so interesting, right? Because you find your tribe, and those kids are taking different things from you and what you're offering.
Yeah.
Shaniqua is here. Hey, Shaniqua. She is actually my referring teacher. I think
Okay.
if Flavia is still here, she asked me to make a Kid Pass Facebook group. So, Shaniqua, I might need some help. I'm going to make a Kid Pass Facebook group
I
for those
would
that
join
have
that.
questions. Okay, I'm getting started on that today. I told Flavia I would try to do it last night, but I just ran out of time. And today's my husband's birthday, so I got to do it early while he's at work. So I will work on that today. But Shaniqua said, hey, if they sign up for you, this is Kid Pass, they can donate regularly too. Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Rebecca said, I need to do a parent side on Kid Pass. Hey, go for it. Join the Facebook group. You can help me answer parent questions. Kelly said, talking about the pay, it
mhm.
inspires her as well. April was her highest. Shaniqua said, for sure. Okay, Shaniqua, I'm writing it down. I will get that up and running. That's so funny. I was like, I don't know if I want to do another one, but Flavia had asked for it, and I think it's important because I didn't see any out there except for their official one where they're posting the Kid Pass live. So,
I feel like you're the only YouTuber right now talking about it too. So this could be kind of your niche, maybe.
okay, Shaniqua, you're my expert. I need help. Rebecca said April was lower for her too, but May has 5 Sundays. Great for ongoing payments.
Oh, interesting.
Awesome. Yeah. I love how everyone has like little tidbits. We're all kind of doing many of the same things, but not all of the same things, so we can all learn from each other. It's so
Yeah.
awesome. Well, Stephanie, that is all I have for you for today. Do you have anything else you want to share with us?
I don't think so. I appreciate you allowing me to come on, and I love your content because you're very consistent, first of all.
Oh,
And
thanks. I
I
try.
love that you take the time to coordinate interviews. I don't know if I'm going to get to that point anytime soon. I would like to, but I don't know if I have the time right now to
Right.
do all that. But yeah, I love your content, and thanks for having me on.
Well,
And nice to
thank
meet
you.
everybody.
And please send me those links and
Okay.
your Outschool links as well, and we will add that to the description box. Thank you all so much for coming. Oh, Shaniqua. Okay, we'll work on that. Thank you all so much for coming, and we'll see you. I'll see you when I see you. We're on here all the time, so I look
All
forward to
right.
it. See you guys.